5, 16, 19, 21, 30, 3 and 10. Check results. You remember?
129. I'm in my prime. I like drinking wine while I rhyme all the time. 129. I just slipped there. This is an awful start. These are always awful starts. Put a day, Doctor away. 129 days in a row. Crazy. Crazy. Is it that crazy? Sitting down and speaking for 10 minutes a day? It's not that crazy. There was something, I did it again. There was something I forgot to mention and bring up so long ago. It wasn't that long ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago. Let's say that. And I just never brought it up. I don't know if I didn't write it down somewhere. That's a big possibility. Maybe I didn't write it down somewhere. That's definitely what happened, and I just forgot. Or I did speak about it, but it was so insignificant that I don't remember. What I have just remembered, actually, is I haven't done my... I'm all over the place right now. This is not concise at all. But I just remember I haven't done my Duolingo yet. And if I miss my streak, my world collapses. So I must hit that. Because when we miss the streak, it's like, oh, it's like you're just done. You know what I mean? So it's like if you're an alcoholic, right? And you've had 80 days of sobriety. It's not like, oh, you just break that once. You know, you break your sobriety one day and then you go back to it. It's like if you go off the rails, you're off the rails usually. You know, so if I lose my streak, the streak's gone, and I'm not gonna just like start again the next thing and then start. You know what I mean? It's just, if you know, you know. Not the sobriety thing. This is a completely different scenario. I'm not comparing the struggles, although that's exactly what I was doing. But you know, not in that way. What was I actually talking about? KSI. Sorry, but there's just been so many L's recently with, you know, the Wade situation. You know, the slur situation. Easy mistake. To be fair, I actually gave a pass on both. I know me, the Asian man. I gave a pass. No, but these things happen. These things happen. Do they? They would more than you believe, as Pep Guardiola would say. More than you believe. More than you believe. But this time, so I'm just doing my Theo Von impression. But no, the third L, which I never really spoke about, was the fact that I spoke, I think, mildly about the fights, the YouTuber fights, right? You had Misfits, you had Kingpin recently. You also had, I think I spoke about it in this episode, but I mainly spoke about Deontay. Is it Deontay Davis or Deonta Davis? It's spelled Ta, but I'm not sure. His fight versus Ryan Garcia. But what also happened sort of that week was the YouTuber fights and stuff, which was, you know, Kingpin and Misfits. And Misfits was a bit of a snooze fest. And Kingpin really did what it set out to do, which was kind of rival it and create something that was entertaining and interesting and, you know, a true adversary, a true big old rival here. Something to sort of, I think Gibb was kind of like, I want money. I want to be a main guy of this thing. I don't kind of just want to be picked and placed and put around under your umbrella. If I can't get what I want here, I'll make my own shit and I'll beat you, which I think is you know, what's the word? It's commendable in the sense you're going up against a titan kind of in the space, sort of the top dog, the point of the pyramid in KSI, not KKK, just the one KSI. Why am I stuttering so much? KSI. You know, it's like difficult. It's not any old chump you gotta try and take down if you're Empire here. But he did that, and he kind of like had the better event with the more interesting fights. He got these fighters who had huge sort of backings, like from Brazil and stuff, and like it was just a whole thing. And then basically one of the fighters who, again, I should have checked this beforehand, but I don't remember what his name was really. Brazilian, so he probably has like 5 names. Like it's like they all Brazilians typically. I don't know why. It's like I only say in football a lot, but they'll go by one name a lot of the time. Not all the time. There's a lot of Brazilians I can think of right now who just go by 2 names, whatever. But a lot of the time, you hear them and it's just like one name, like Neymar. And they usually just go by the one. But obviously they have like loads more names. When you Google it on Wikipedia, it's like 5 names in a row or something. I remember doing the same for this fighter, and he had like bare names in a row, and I couldn't remember which one is the one he goes by when he was fighting. But this is all irrelevant. Basically he was good. He was exciting. I didn't watch any of these fights, by the way, which is crazy. I'm more just like, I like it in the sense that I like to check up on it. I like the excitement of what's going on, but fighting is not really my thing, so I don't sit down and actively watch them. I wouldn't be interested. It's too much waiting around. I hate sports of waiting around. NFL, basketball, just so many breaks and timeouts and advertisement shit, and it's just like, it's too much waiting around. Once the sport has started, I want to see the sport. You know, halftime football, 15 minutes, and sometimes you're like, oh, fucking hurry up. You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine Champions League final. It's a tight one, or it's not. Let's say it's not a tight one. Man City are losing 4-0 in the Champions League final to Real Madrid. They go in at half time. Half of the City fans are sitting there, they're pissed off. It's 4-0. Oh my God, when are we going to win this Champions League? They're pissed off. And then it's half time. It's not 15 minutes. It's going to be 45 minutes to an hour. Right then, the Dua Lipa walks out. We're 4-0 down. Dua Lipa's there. Don't holler. Don't want out. Don't stop caring about. That's Dua Lipa. You know? You know. You know, just the Man City fans are fucking, City! Just beer bellies, just shirtless, massive fucking Manchester tattoos on the stomach, just arms crossed. That wouldn't go down a treat, you know, but different sports, you know how it goes. Why I'm on this tangent? The fight. Boxing's too much waiting in between fights and stuff for a fight that could last 10 seconds. Yeah, it could go all the rounds and stuff, but it could last 10 seconds. This fighter kind of stole the show, right? Stole the lights. KSI jumps on Twitter, and it's like he's not done anything wrong, cancelable. You know, he's not like said anything. He's just been rash again, and he just types up this. It's like you'd think, and this is partly why people like him, because he's not like PR'd out as fuck. But like, you're like the owner now of like so many different companies, but sometimes the way in which you tweet is so much like you're just tweeting someone's privately. Like sometimes you see a tweet and I'm like, did you meant to direct message this to somebody? Why don't I just say DM? Did you meant to DM? Is this a private DM that you accidentally put on Twitter? Because like, I know there's those apps where once you open Twitter, there's like a minute countdown call off time thing, so you can't get on Twitter and rashly tweet things. It gives you a minute counting down before you can tweet, so you can like think and be like, wait, the thing I was gonna tweet, does this make sense? And it forces you to think it through, right? He might need it. Gets on there, he's like, oh my God, bro, your fight, like it was so entertaining, like it was so sick, man, like the way you were fighting, like you had the whole people around you, I was moved, you shocked me to my core, man. Fuck Kingpin, fuck that. Come to me, whatever they're paying you, I'll triple it. Whoever you're fighting in the next round of the tournament, fuck them. They can find a new fight. Come with me, I'll make you a star, man. Please, man, please. Like he's like begging for this guy from this event. And it's like, first of all, it just makes you look so like you missed it. And like, imagine if like Daniel Levy or like fucking any owner of a football club is just like, they had the chance to sign a player and they lose out, and they the football club tweets out just like, please, like what would be a good example of that? Please, Willian, you almost signed for us and we really want you. Like, we really want you. Or Willian's maybe not best shout because Willian rejected them. But like if they rejected a player, like you know, it would be like if like Chelsea tweeted out like after they saw De Bruyne getting goals, like, nah, De Bruyne, we're sorry, man, we're sorry, like, we got rid of you too soon, like, the way you're capturing the fans, how good you are at football, nah, it's too, like, please come back, whatever they're paying you at City, we'll triple it, we'll just come here, we'll literally get you, we'll fucking craft service, please, man, like, fuck them, whatever they're doing, screw it, whatever contract, tear it up, man. We'll triple it, man. And it's like, first of all, desperate, just sort of like floundering around. Just wait for it's over. Maybe approach him. Like, why are you acting like these people cannot be privately messaged? Why are you putting it out on like a public thing? Second of all, being like, just fuck off this event and come to me right now for a fight in May. Like, rush into this big fight against me in May. Get squeezed into like this thing, which probably wouldn't even happen because you got all this other shit going on or whatever. And like, what? Just so I can probably get beaten by you, like, and ruin all my hype. Like, why? And secondly, fuck off this tournament and come do this thing with me. And it's like, I know they're like your rival now, so it's like we kind of got to get any superstar they have. Every superstar has to be with us. At the same time, this is like a rival spearheaded by like, you know, your friend, I assume. And there's no friends in this industry, man. You know, it's every man for themselves, dude. But like I said, you know, this is just, you know, entertainment boxing. This isn't actually a real fucking like cutthroat Empire Kingdom shit. But you know, and thirdly, the guy who he's meant to be boxing within this event that's spearheaded by your friend is another friend in Kenny. You know, and being like the way he was like, they can find another fighter to replace you for whatever fight you got, like for your little fight thing. And it's like the little fight thing, you know, that's a big fight for Kenny, you know, big eyes for him. And if he can beat like the most, like no one thinks Kenny's gonna win it, but if Kenny can beat this guy who everyone loves and thinks is like the fucking next best thing of this little entertainment boxing thing, and you're like, no, fuck off, Kenny, you know, that little fucking fight, come fight me and I'll give you the real money. It's like, you're taking food out of other people's mouths, man. And this isn't like fucking amateur boxing. This isn't life or death. It's not like he needs this fight to pay for just his travel to get back home and his rent for that month. It's not like that much. But to an extent, it is still like you're taking the food out of people's mouths, like on any level, no matter how much you are. It's like when rappers or celebrities get blacklisted from certain movies or film sets, or like go in on certain things to get them exposure just because they like pissed someone off or someone said something they didn't agree with, so they blacklisted them. And it's like, you're actively stopping me from making money now and like doing my thing. Like, that's just fucking like, that's corny, man. That's fucking corny. Corny doesn't sound good when I say that voice. I mean, but am I lying? Am I stuttering? Yes, a lot. But am I lying though? I don't think so. You know, I just thought it was like a bit of an L thing. It was just another like rash KSL moment where it's just like, you're meant to be like the mogul. You know, you're meant to be like the guy at the head of the thing. You're like, I'm the savvy off. Like, it's hard to present yourself as, I'm this fucking boss. You fucking want to talk to my daughter? You come to me on the day of my wedding? We break your legs. You know, you want to be just like, I'm a boxer. I'm a YouTube. I'm an entertainer. I'm a brand business owner. I'm an entrepreneur. You know, we're meant to, people try and make these points like, Jake Paul's actually a genius. You know, the way he's like constructed this whole thing and like pisses off people and gets all this clout and stuff. These people are geniuses. And it's like, are they geniuses or are they just, you know, charismatic people with common sense? You know, a lot of these decisions, yeah, a lot of people would not adapt and they would perish in these scenarios that he has found himself in, you know, and maybe they wouldn't have made certain decisions, but he's also made bad decisions. And I just think sometimes we give this credit before everyone this genius word, and it's like, it kind of, you're kind of like, I'm this genius who's like, fucking, I didn't get here by luck and by doing the face at Gamescom. But I am no, it is con. But I'm this genius mogul now. I just got a notification from Duolingo, so I gotta go do that real quick. And it's just like, it kind of gets knocked down and depleted a little bit when it's like you start doing these tweets. I know it's just don't look smart at all, and your stock is just lowering so much. And also Sidemen's content. I have not watched really like Sidemen videos in like a couple years now, and that's not like one of these things where it's like, I'm older now, used to watch that back in school, but that's for the pussies now. Now I'm only watching Top Boy on Netflix because I'm a fucking real man. G man, you see the fucking new Top Boy. Yeah, that's fucking my life, man. You feel me? That fucking speaks to me. I don't watch that baby YouTube shit no more. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that. It's just like, I think the content is mid at best, and sometimes I watch other people's videos who like do this really cool video and it like has a storyline to it, and it's like it's kind of message, but it's still funny and stuff, and it still has all the same themes, but they just have a better like just a better fucking vibe to it. And it's like, sometimes you watch these videos and you're just like, at this point they're just soulless and lifeless now, and it's the same format, and it's just, let's just, one of us go here, one of us go there, and it's just like, it's the same thing again and again, and it's just like, there's nothing to get out of it. It's just people trying to get by on like, we are charismatic, that's our thing, Like, we'll get a half decent idea and execute it by just sort of doing it and being charismatic, like, and not actually, there's not enough going into like the actual, like, if you also use like a TV show, or like, a TV show, like a sitcom, as an analogy or something, right? You have this great sitcom, and it has these great first 2 seasons or whatever, and it's got these great actors in it, these great funny comedians in it, right? But then the script writing just starts to fall off. They start to like get less good ideas and stuff. But they keep making the seasons. They're not cancelled it yet. They're not like made any new crazy ideas yet for the show. They're just relying on the comedians who are some of the best comedians in the world. Just their improv skills, just to be funny. Like, yeah, we've got this half decent script. We're gonna give it to them, and our show's still gonna get great ratings because they're gonna do their thing. It's fucking, it's fucking Chris Rock. He's the best of the best. And it's like, you can get some of the best comedians in the room and just have them. But ultimately, sometimes a lot of the worst TV shows, you hear them talking about it on the press tours beforehand. It's like, yeah, 90% of the scripts, it's like, we weren't like 90%. It was like improv, and it's like, that's usually like sometimes a red flag, because it's like, oh, it was 90%. This just sounds like a mess. Like, and it feels like now, they claim always about having all these great ideas and stuff, but it's like, you have all these ideas, but they're all just like the same idea, but like slightly different. It's like, that's like me saying, I've got this shoe concept. I've got 100 shoe concepts. I don't know, 100 colors. I've got 10 shoe concepts, when really you have one concept in 10 colors. And it's like, look, they're still fucking making fat stacks and racks, baby. But my point is they're resting on their laurels a bit. The content, I think, is soulless a little and repetitive. And I think their views are, in the last few months, what I've been seeing, and they are still very high, but I just think going down a little maybe in the last few months. And you could equate that maybe with the whole slur thing. That's a potentialness of it as well. But I think also it's, it's just what it is. It's just what's happening. And I think, adapt or perish. Words of them themselves. You got to do that. Like, at the moment, I don't cut myself off from their content, as a whole. But when it comes to them now with me, I'll listen to like a podcast from them or something, because like, that is something I can actually digest from them that I think is actually alright. Because, a podcast is a podcast. It's a different thing. That is where you can get by with just charisma alone. Videos which are putting out, especially ones that are like an hour long, most of the time, I feel like you actually need to think of better ideas, especially because they have this big team now, and they hire people to, like, apparently there's people who hired who are just to come up with ideas, and it's like, maybe fire them, or like maybe use them. Maybe you're not even using them. Maybe you're just using all of your ideas still. But it's like, it feels like they're kind of scared to like find the new formula. Like, they found the formula, boom, it worked, and for the last 2 years they've been using that, and that's that. They got to find a new one now because they only last so long. And I just think, but it's one of those things. It's like, the views are still. It's like Mr. Beast. I look at a lot of his content, not all of it, but a lot of it. I just find that soulless and just sort of like ideas. But they get like 50 million views and stuff. So I guess I'm speaking very personally. And guessing what I'm in terms of watching. But I just think what would be a good balance is, I remember watching an AJ Shabil video, and I don't watch many of his videos, but it was like buying every advertisement. Was it buying every advertisement I see? In New York, I think it was, and he had that through line, that storyline of the boxer, I think, in that video, where he meets him, and he's like, he's an amateur boxer, and he's like, have you got a fight? And he's like, yeah, and he's like, okay, then the video, I'll come see your fight, and then if you win, you get, he gives him like $1,000 or something, and it's like, the title and thumbnail made me think, what's so special about this? I mean, I saw some people gassing it up, and it's the title and thumbnail that I would think Sidemen would use. But if they did it, it just would be like his didn't feel solid. It felt like it had this thing to it. They would do it, and it would just be like, oh, we're here, we're walking around slowly, talking to each other, buying stuff as we see it, and then it would be end. Another example is, I think Ryan Trahan does that pretty well. Spending 24 hours on the world's loneliest island or whatever. I could see them making that video as well. But his one had this whole through message, and like, thing at the end, and it's like music build up at the end of these quotes and shit, and like it was still like just surviving here. My personality, my charisma, mainly that. Jokes and stuff can still be had, but it's like you're adding like fucking peaks and troughs to it. It's just, you know, it's not just, yo, we show up and we're here and we're basically just walking around being us here, and it's just like, you know, more, you know, needs more food, more weight to it. But I don't know. I'm literally sitting here in a room talking to myself and no one else. So I'm not exactly an innovator right now, am I? But, you know, you don't have to fucking make the Mona Lisa to know good art. That's not a real fucking phrase, is it? But you don't, I don't know. Simon Cowell hosts the X Factor. He can't fucking sing. Who still watches X Factor? What's my point here? This was 29. See you in 30.
With the kids, and I had like 3 kids, and the geezer was probably on like maximum 20 bags a year. Like the most boring bloke you'll ever meet. He was like a hero.